Good morning, students. Welcome to Additive Manufacturing class. In today's class, we will start with Module 1. Module 1 consists of following topics like what is additive manufacturing, introduction to additive manufacturing, the process chain involved in additive manufacturing, classification of AM processes, and what is post processing of AM parts, guidelines for process selection, and AM application, that is additive manufacturing application in the industry. In today's class, we are going to discuss following topics. What is the meaning of manufacturing? Then next we will discuss about what is subtractive manufacturing. Then once you understand this, already whatever we have been discussing the topics in engineering since first semester till seventh semester regarding manufacturing, it's all about subtractive manufacturing. Okay. So what we are going to discuss in this topic is additive manufacturing. Okay, and we will see the difference between these two types of manufacturing processes. So these are the topics that we're going to discuss in today's class. Okay. Before going to the additive manufacturing, first let us understand the word manufacturing. So manufacturing is the process of converting raw materials into finished goods through the use of tools, human labor, machinery, and chemical processing. So this is the definition of manufacturing. Means you are converting the raw material into finished goods. Okay. To convert that, we are going to use tools, labors, machinery, and different chemical processing. And this manufacturing process, we can broadly classify it as additive or subtractive type of manufacturing. What is subtractive manufacturing? Subtractive manufacturing is a process that involves removal of raw materials. Suppose you have a raw material, okay, you are going to remove that excess raw material and convert that into finished product of different shape and smaller in size. So that is called as subtractive manufacturing. You should be able to understand by the word subtractive. Okay, subtractive means removal of raw materials. So whatever we have discussed in our earlier semester regarding manufacturing, so all that is subtractive manufacturing. For example, turning and milling and various other processes, operations. So all that is subtractive manufacturing. I hope you understood what is subtractive manufacturing. So if you have understood this, then the understanding of additive manufacturing is easy. Now, what is additive manufacturing? Additive manufacturing is a process by which digital 3D design data, digital 3D design data is used to build up a component in layers by depositing materials. Additive manufacturing means here we are not going to remove the excess material. Instead, we are going to add the material layer by layer, and we are going to construct the model. Okay, so it is nothing but 3D printing. So 3D printing, prototype, all these are synonym words to the additive manufacturing. Additive manufacturing, it's nothing but it's building objects. When a company builds an object by adding materials to it, then we consider it as additive manufacturing. The materials are gradually added to a bed or substrate, allowing for the production of new object in different size and shape than that of a raw material. So most additive manufacturing process involves 3D printing. As I told you, 3D printing, prototyping, all these are synonym words to the additive manufacturing. So 3D printers, they are nothing but machines that deposit materials onto a print bed. Sorry, print bed. Therefore, they build objects through the addition of materials. Okay, so a typical 3D printer works by releasing extruded material out of a nozzle. So it builds the base layer, after which it builds the next highest level. So 3D printers will continue to build each individual layer until the object is completed. So this is about what is additive manufacturing. So we will go through few pictures wherein you understand so how the objects are made using the additive manufacturing techniques. So the next question comes, why we need to study additive manufacturing? So why there is so much of importance is given to the additive manufacturing in recent times? uh, Subtractive manufacturing, though it is not going to fade anytime soon, okay, but now people are industries are looking into more into additive manufacturing. So why? Because the advantages of the additive manufacturing over the subtractive type. Okay, so in additive manufacturing, we can build objects uh, with little or no waste. Whereas in case of our conventional manufacturing processes, there is lot of wastage. And additive manufacturing is also a better choice for building very complex shapes. If you go through some of the pictures, you can understand wherein it is very difficult to make them using the conventional manufacturing process, whereas it is very easy in additive manufacturing technique to make very complicated shapes and objects. So that is the reason why additive manufacturing has gained lot of importance in recent times. So additive manufacturing evolution, the idea of this additive manufacturing, it all started in 1960s 70s, very recently. So Herbert Walker, so he thought of possibilities of using computer aided machine control to run the machines that build parts from the CAD geometry. So in 70s, he developed mathematics to describe 3D aspects that resulted in the first algorithms for solid modeling. In 1980s, called Descartes, he came up with the ideas of layer-based manufacturing. And while there are many other people who have contributed to the additive manufacturing, uh, but the credit goes to the person called as Charles Hull. He was born on May 12th, 1939, um, and he is the founder of and executive vice president of the 3D Systems, It is a company that designs and manufactures 3D printers. And if you consider from 1960s, if you go through the timeline, there are a lot of people who have involved in uh, additive manufacturing, and you can go through that in my notes. So at this point, you know what is additive manufacturing. You have gone through the definition of additive manufacturing and the applications of that, why we need to study additive manufacturing. And we also have studied CNC machines, computer numerical controlled machines. Okay, so this CNC machines, they come under subtractive manufacturing. Okay, so now let us see the difference between what is additive manufacturing and CNC machine. Like, it is nothing but 3D printing machines and CNC machines. Okay, so the first point is with respect to precision of production. So in case of CNC machining, it is more precise and it is more consistent than the 3D printing, because these CNC machines, they have the higher tolerance for heat. So whereas in 3D printers, they end up with distorted products when there is too much of heat. uh, they can these 3D printing machines, though they can offer precisions, but they cannot remain consistent. Okay, and 3D printers are often regarded as more user friendly than CNC machines. But when they malfunction, someone has to troubleshoot them, because the fault means production of unusable products. Okay, and the second point is speed of the production. So CNC is faster in than the 3D printing. The production speed of the production is fast in case of CNC machines. So automated CNC machines, they can work around the clock as long as they are properly maintained. Okay. For example, if you take a project that could take CNC machining an hour, uh, if the same project, if you do it by 3D printers, uh, it may takes more number of hours than CNC machining, because here it has to build the product layer by layer, so it takes more time than the CNC machine. Next point is with respect to versatility of machinery. So when you want to test prototype for a project, so CNC machine can quickly build a design. Okay, and it can develop it for testing purpose, whereas 3D printers, they don't have these kinds of options, because in 3D printing, the design is converted into shape layers by layers. Okay, as it is programmed already. So uh, when it comes to the testing of prototypes, CNC machine will help us in reducing the time. And next one is noise and mass produced. Of course, CNC machining is much noisier than the 3D printing, because it uses tools to cut away the material, and this creates noise, and a lot of scrap material is also produced. And CNC machines, they cause a lot of vibrations, so they need to be in a space where they won't bother anyone. So whereas 3D printing machines, they only use material it needs for the product, and there is no or very little or no wastage. And the printers, they don't vibrate like CNC machines. Last difference with respect to AM and CNC machining is material usage. So material uses CNC machine works with variety of materials. You can just go through the list. Uh, we can use CNC machine for metals, goods, thermoplastics, wax, and the materials are used to build substantial parts for the engines, aircrafts, and other machines. Okay, whereas 3D printing doesn't have these many varieties. So usually they use plastics or resins. So they can't produce items strong enough to withstand intense environments like aeroplanes and other machineries. And one more disadvantage of 3D printing is it can't switch between the materials. So that is one of the disadvantage of 3D printing machines. Now let's look at the advantages of additive manufacturing. So it gives us freedom versus conventional casting and machining. Design freedom. Okay, so we can manufacture any complicated shape using the additive manufacturing, wherein it is not possible in our conventional manufacturing process. So next, we can build lightweight structures. Okay, and new functions such as complex internal channels or several parts can be built in this. And next one, net shape process, meaning less raw material consumption, up to 25 times less as compared to conventional manufacturing. No tools needed, unlike other conventional metallurgy process, which requires molds and metal forming or removal of tools. And next major advantage is short production cycle time. Okay, complex parts can be produced layer by layer in a few hours in additive machines. The total cycle time, including post processing, is usually it is from few days to weeks, and it is usually much shorter than conventional metallurgical process, which often requires a production cycle of several months. So this is one of the major advantage of additive manufacturing.